Good morning, YouTube. It's a chilly morning in Phoenix today. 4:23 a.m. Friday, February 4th, 2022. I'm standing near the corner of 16th Street and Camelback, coming from Bullocks, doing the usual of Route 60 to Route 50 to Route 44. I was really nervous because the I'm nervous about making this transfer right here because the 60 was running late. It was about, not like really late, but late enough. It was about 6 minutes late when it picked me up, which is enough to miss close transfers. And this is usually a pretty close transfer from the 60 to the 50. And I like close transfers. I don't like standing out here in the cold. At least this bus stop is super clean, though. It looks like it just got hosed down. It's like all wet around the stop, and nice and clean. Usually not too many homeless people camping at this one, just because this part of town, the city tends to keep it a little more vagrant free. Anyway, yeah, I normally do the transfer at, I don't know, it's a crapshoot. Sometimes I do it here at 16th Street. Sometimes I do it over at 24th Street. The 60 and the 50 both run down that 1 mile of Camelback. And personally, I'd like to see the 60 go all the way to 44th Street, since it's been my observation that many of the 60 buses go that far. So even if not having all of them do that, it'd be nice to have some of them do that. I mean, let's be honest. I'm selfish, and I want less bus transfers if possible. So yeah, what I was doing initially, I was kind of nervous, and I was looking at the transfer, and it was looking like I was going to miss this by about a minute. But and I should have known that would have been no big deal for him to catch up on being 6 minutes late, because this time of the morning, it's not like there's any traffic. And normally when I ride the 60, it shows up about 4 or 5 minutes early at the stop at 27th Avenue. And then I end up having to I gotta make sure that I'm out there early. If I show up there on time, like, he's gone. I learned that the hard way a couple of times when I first started doing this. But yeah, he's always usually early, and he usually gets to the 19th Avenue and Montebello Christown Transit Center, and then camps there for a while. So yeah, this driver didn't. He just drove right through it. Didn't even stop. I mean, there was nobody there. There's no reason for him to stop, and he was a little late getting there. So I do find it interesting how every single stop is timed in the has a specific time in the app, but only certain stops are timed for the drivers. And what I mean by that is, if a driver is running ahead, he'll stay ahead until he gets to what is considered a time stop for him, and then he'll wait there until that time comes. I was thinking that was a bus, but it's not. When I got to the stop, I checked, and the bus was, I think, at like Central or maybe 7th Street. So pretty close. It should be here any moment. In fact, honestly, I kind of expected it to show up a little quicker than this. But anyway, yeah, of course, it could be he's at Central and he's stuck behind light rail. Sometimes that happens. Oh, no, it's not possible. It's stuck behind light rail. Light rail isn't running yet. Anyway, I'm looking at my camera app as opposed to looking at my transit app to see what's going on. But it should be here shortly. Anyway, yeah, well, I quickly realized, and I could see it reflected in the transit app. And anyway, speaking of time stops, now, back in the days of the bus book, before everything was put onto an app, time stops were the only ones that were shown on the bus schedule. Like, you'd have a bus schedule, it would show the route and where it went, and it wouldn't show the timing of every stop like the transit app does. It would show what the time stops were. and you would just kind of estimate when the buses would show up between, you know, 2 different time stops. And as a general rule, they would always tell you, hey, you know, you need to be at your stop at the time of the previous time stop. Okay, there is my bus. I'm gonna go and wrap this up. But anyway, just while I'm on the subject of time stops, I do wish that the app kind of gives the impression that every stop is a time stop, and it's not. And I do wish that the time stops were just had maybe a little asterisk or a star next to them, or, you know, like a little green letter T, just some kind of indication, so transit riders know which are time stops and which aren't. But anyway, there's a lot of little tweaks I'd love to see happen with the transit app, and yeah, add that one to the list. Anyway, I see the light is changing, so I'm going to wrap this up, and yeah, thanks for joining me.